So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and I welcome you all in this live session by Drishti IAS. We will be discussing Indian Express as usual. Okay, so we will start with the today's front page you can see in the background, and then we will take up some few articles, that is the peace agreement with UNLF, that is in the Manipur. An insurgent group has surrendered their arms and they are saying that they are going to talk for the peace in the region. And then there is PM Janman scheme. This is a scheme announced by PM Modi on the birth anniversary of Birsa Munda. So basically in this scheme they will be targeting PVTGs, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Okay, so we'll look at the details of this particular scheme. And then terms of reference for 16th Finance Commission has been approved by the cabinet. We will talk about that, though the particulars are not yet clear, but we will see the functioning of financial commission, and other than that we will look at the composition, who appoints the commission, etc. After that we will look at some world affairs, and then one or two articles from economy, and after that we will take up some practice questions and then wrap up the session. Okay, so let's start with the first article of the day, that is your Indian citizen held Niger linked in indictment. US accuses Indian official for plotting to kill Pannu. So basically this was the US report earlier that some Indians are involved in the conspiracy to kill Khalistani separatists based in USA right now, that is Pannu. Okay, so ultimately they did not have any kind of they provided with the specifics of the details, and there was this ongoing investigation going on in the relevant departments. But now USA is saying that there is an direct link of any Indian officials with these killings. They have said that this particular Indian official has approached some person over there, and that person approached some assassination which was like undercover US enforcement officer, and ultimately that conspiracy came out because of that. Okay, so let's see. Indian got money sent to hitman who was US undercover officer, says Department of Justice indictment from USA. So ultimately they are saying that some kind of some Indian official has been involved in this particular conspiracy. Okay, and there is an investigation ongoing. United States federal prosecutors have accused an Indian intelligence official of planning and directing a plot for this particular conspiracy. Okay, we have discussed this 5I partners already. You can look at the previous lectures, and other than that, government forms a panel. US NSA CIA chief flew to India. They have come to India and talk about this particular issue, and then government of India has formed a panel to look into this particular matter. Okay, this is not important, just a development I wanted to let you know of. That's it all. Okay, now the first article for us, the important article for us would be historic movement, says Amit Shah on peace pact with insurgent outfit. Okay, so when we are talking about this particular insurgent outfit, this is from the Valley region. Manipur's UNLF bids farewell to arms. So basically United National Liberation Front of Manipur, they are insurgent outfit over there. They started with a demand of secession from India, but then their significance with time kind of decreased, and now they are on the table to talk. Earlier this was the only you can say, from when we are talking about the insurgency in Manipur, this insurgents from the Valley region did not go for any talks with them, and other than that this is the first attempt of UNLF to talk with the government. Okay, and in the first attempt only we have achieved this peace agreement. Okay, in the first non-instance of Valley based insurgent group from Manipur entering into peace pact with the center. Okay, when we are talking about the geography of Manipur, I have explained in the last lecture as well that there are two geographical features. Let's say predominantly there is hilly region 90% of the state, and then there is 10% in the center of the state, that is the Valley region. Those insurgents from the hilly region, let's say this is your Manipur, okay, and this is your Valley region, and this is hilly region, and from the hilly region there are many insurgent groups like from the communities of Nagas, ISC and IM, and then there is Cookies, Zomis, Mizos, all these things, all these insurgents groups are present over there. We have been into some kind of talk or agreements or some kind of suspension of operation agreements with these insurgents from the hilly region. But for the valley, this is the first time we have talked with them and gone for this particular you can say agreement of peace with this particular outfit. Okay, United National Liberation Front, a Meitei insurgent outfit, has signed a peace agreement with the government of India and the government of Manipur. Okay, so let's have a look at this particular agreement. The details of these agreements are not yet public. In the same case, when we signed an agreement in 2008 with Cookies and 1997 with Nagas, the details are not made public. Okay, so now let's see. Union Home Minister Amit Shah announced a historic peace agreement with the Meitei separatist group UNLF in Manipur, considering a significant step. Now, this is a Meitei group. Okay, when we are talking about Meitei community is a politically influenced community and it is dominant over there. Other than that, they are economically prosperous community. When we are talking about the other, with reference to the other communities over there. Okay, so now they started this UNLF in back in 1960s. And the demand was to get separate from India. Okay, so this move aims to encourage the valley-based insurgents to join the peace process. There are 7 to 8 more insurgent outfit in the valley region, and this is the first who has come up with the peace agreement with state government and the union government. So now looking at them, there are some other small insurgent groups. They might also get encouraged to go towards the direction of peace process. Okay. Historically, valley-based insurgents groups have not engaged in the peace process with the center, while smaller groups disband or become insignificant. This UNLF agreement stand out due to its size and impact. So, other than when we are talking about the other insurgent output in this particular region, either they are too small or they have become insignificant for various reasons. Okay. So, because of that, when we signed a pact with UNLF, that is kind of significant because considering its size and its endurance in the region. Okay, when there was this violence going on in the Manipur in the last few months, this is one of the organization which was quite active over there. Okay, so other than that, we will have a look at this particular organization UNLF. It was formed in 1964, that is 1960s, and then UNLF is the oldest valley-based insurgent groups. Okay, before that there were other groups, but in the valley this is the oldest. Okay, distinct from the other groups in the hill. When we are talking about other groups, that is NSCN, and then there was the these group based on cookie outfits, etc. Okay, they have signed peace agreements with government. Initially demanded secession from India. This outfit has demanded secession from India initially and received training from NSC and IM. This particular outfit has given training to this UNLF. Okay, its arm wing, Manipur People's Army, launched various attacks on the security personnel which were deployed over there. Okay, so that is about UNLF. What is the current status? So in 1990s and then back in 2021, there was some faction in the group itself and they were divided. Okay, so now UNLF has two factions. Okay, so when we are talking these two factions, there are two factions under, one is under the person named Pambay. Okay, and second is under Khundongbam. Okay, so these two people are first is Chairman Khundongbam Pambay. Okay, and then second is NC Koirang. Okay, so this particular group under Pambay is going with the peace process, or they are going to talk with the government, but this particular group has stayed away from the talks. Okay, so here you can say there are two factions. They have employed nearly 400 to 500 members, and recently they have given training to other 500 members. Okay, this is operating in Manipur's valley region. As I told you, in the center, they are operating in the valley and some areas of Kuki and Jomi Hill districts. Okay, they are operated from the camps in Myanmar. Whenever there was some kind of security personnel related activities, or let's say some kind of operation going on in this particular region, they used to cross border and go to Myanmar, and that is why they have set their camps over there in Myanmar. So mostly they are operating from the Myanmar. But recently, you know that Myanmar is going through a civil war, because of which they are not getting the patronage from the military over there. Earlier they used to get patronage from the military junta over there. Okay, so that is that particular thing has impacted their base in Myanmar because of the civil war go. Okay, UNLF experienced split in the mid 90s and 2021, resulting into two factions. As I told you, there are two factions. One is under Pambai, and which is ready to talk with the government, and second is under NC Koirang, and they are staying away from these talks. Okay. Then further, Manipur has several Meitei insurgent groups. As I told you, in the valley there are several groups, with UNLF being one of the 7 banned by the government under our UPA Act. There are the 7 organizations which are banned, okay, that belong to valley region in the Manipur. While one UNLF faction is open to talk, another factions and other groups like Kukis, Zomis have their complexities and agreements. Okay, so this particular group, another faction under Kailong is not having any agreement. They are having complexities. And when we are talking about these Kukis, Zomis, we have an agreement in 2008 with this group, that is Kukis, and in 1997 or 1990s somewhere, we have signed a agreement with the Naga outfit as well. Okay. So there is this tripartite agreement between, that is a suspension of operation agreement between this particular group, that is Kukis, Zomi insurgents, and the state government of Manipur and the union government of India. They have signed a pact in 2008, but recently in March, this Manipur government has come out of this agreement. They are saying that these two communities or insurgent group from this particular area are still involved in some kind of insurgent activity in the region. So they are not following the norms or the terms of the peace agreement. That is why they are also coming out of it. Okay. So that is about this particular article. And when we are talking about the significance of this particular move, if we consider, the source in Delhi said that the agreement at the moment is largely on the suspension of the operation. So basically, as of now, we are only going for the suspension of the operation, as in the insurgent group will not go for any attack on the security personnel, and security personnel will not go on for any kind of operation against these particular groups. Okay, so that is one thing. Both UNLF and security forces not undertaking operations against each other. Okay, and in the due course, source said that areas would be identified to build camps for UNLF. These there will be camps for this particular outfit in the valley, where their cadre would stay along with their arms and ammunition under supervision of the Manipur government and armed forces. Okay, as of now, that, as I told you, that this is just a suspension of operation agreement. So they will be building camps, and that camps will be under the supervision on monitoring of the Manipur government. Okay. Then the agreement will not only bring peace to hostilities, or you can say end to hostilities between UNLF and the security forces, which have claimed when precious lives on the both sides. Hold on a second. So this agreement will not only bring end to hostilities between UNLF and the security personnel, and because of all this violence going on, there has been loss of life in this region. So ultimately, when we are going for the peace, those lives can be saved. Okay, and then there will be an opportunity to address the long standing concern of the community. Okay, once there is peace, we can talk with them and then address the concern of the communities. This particular step can encourage the other valley based armed group to participate in the peace process. So ultimately, this you can say can be a first step towards long term peace in the Manipur. Because with other organizations, we can say like Nagas and Kukis, we have some kind of agreement. So we have channel of communication with them. So ultimately now this particular organization is also on the table. We can talk with all the stakeholders and go for a long term peace process in the Manipur. Okay, so that is about this particular article and the peace process which has been started with the agreement with this particular outfit, that is UNLF. Okay, moving further. Here this explained section is given in the Indian Express. Okay, you want to give it a read, you can give. Otherwise, I have covered all the important things from this particular article as well. Okay. Now, Cabinet approves rupees 24,000 crore scheme for vulnerable tribal groups. Okay. So let's see which what is this scheme about. The scheme is known as Pradhan Mantri Janjati आदिवासी न्याय महाअभियान. So that is basically your PM Jan Man. Okay. So this particular scheme has been announced by PM Modi on the birth anniversary of tribal icon Birsa Munda, okay, in Jharkhand. So now we look at the specifics of this particular scheme. Other than that, this particular scheme was mentioned in the budget 2023-24. So that is why this particular scheme become even more important, because it is mentioned in the budget. There are chances they might ask from the budget speech directly. Okay. So that is your second thing. So let's have a look at the scheme. Union Cabinet approved PM Jan Man scheme worth 24,000 crore nearly, aimed at providing comprehensive facilities to PVTGs, that is particularly vulnerable tribal groups. What are them? We will look at have a look at that. It covers various aspects like housing, water, sanitation, education, health, connectivity, livelihood opportunity, all these things. So ultimately what they are talking about is they are talking about holistic development, okay, and bringing them into the mainstream, or let's say kind of providing a special safeguard to all these people and all these developmental activities in their habitats. Okay. Now 9 ministries will collaborate to implement all these interventions. Looking at the diverse nature of this particular scheme, when we are talking about housing, water, sanitation, education, health, connectivity, when we are talking about all these things, obviously different ministry has to come up with this particular idea, and so there are 9 ministries which will be involved in this particular initiative. Sorry. If we are looking at the specifics, you can see there will be around 4.9 permanent house and 500 hostels in the region. So wherever these particular communities are having their habitats, okay, or wherever they are living, in that particular area there are 4.9 lakhs permanent house or pakka makan to be built over there, and then 500 hostels to be built for the students over there and the working people. And then 2500 Anganwadi centers will be opened there. Installation of mobile towers in 3000 villages to ensure the connectivity, or you can say digital connectivity and internet over there. And then when we are talking about road connectivity, there will be around 8,000 kilometers of road connectivity to be built, and extending Ayush facilities in these habitations via mobile medical units. So basically there will be some medical vans, or you can say they will be having this mobile medical units. They will be moving around this habitats to provide this Ayush facilities in this particular region, and then skill and vocational trainings to be provided under this particular scheme. So these are the particulars. You don't have to remember the data over here, but if you remember one or two, you can write in your mains answer writing. Okay. Other than that, this particular things are important for you. And then Prime Minister Modi announced the scheme on Birsa Munda's birth anniversary. He is the tribal icon. We know that. Targeting 75 PVTGs. In India, we have 75 PVTGs, okay, and they are spread across 18 state and union territory of Andaman and Nicobar Island, okay. Identified as the backward in social, economic and educational indicators. When we are talking about PVTGs, they are considered particularly vulnerable because they are somehow backward in the social, economic and educational indicators. So ultimately this is a scheme to make sure that they are not stay in their current position, and some kind of development is to be provided to these particular communities. Okay. The PVTGs comprising more than 40 lakh individuals as of now. Okay, there are nearly, if we talk about total, nearly 10 crore tribal people in India, and these PVTGs form a population of 40 lakh people. Okay, Odisha having a largest population, followed by Madhya Pradesh and then Andhra Pradesh. When we are talking about Andhra Pradesh here, according to the census, at that particular point of time, Telangana was also part of this particular region, that is Andhra Pradesh. Okay. So when we are talking about the population of PVTGs, Odisha has the maximum, then Madhya Pradesh, and then Andhra Pradesh plus Telangana. Okay. So what are these particularly vulnerable tribal groups? Basically, these are this refers to specific indigenous communities that in India that are exceptionally marginalized and vulnerable within the larger tribal population. Okay, these groups face severe socio-economic and educational challenges, often leading to their exclusion and isolation in the mainstream society. So basically these are the groups which are in the tribal population, they are particularly vulnerable. That is why we have provided for the specific safeguard to these people. Okay, they, in Constitution's article 241 or 240, okay, there is a safeguard provided to particularly vulnerable communities. Okay, moving further, so that is about this PM Janman. Okay, now scheme to provide drones to 15,000 self-help groups cleared by the cabinet. So basically these self-help group, or you can say groups which are made for the self-help of this woman and woman empowerment basically. So government has approved this 15,000 drones to these particular groups, so that one thing would be that they can be helpful in empowerment of these particular groups. Other than that, that can be helpful in your agriculture. Okay, let's see how. So central sector scheme to provide drones to women self-help groups with an outlay of nearly 1200 crore. Okay, 1261 crore that is. But you don't have to remember this. The scheme aimed to provide drone to 15,000 selected women, okay, from this SHGs. Okay, so there will be some 15,000 SHGs from where each one woman will be selected and she will be trained to operate a drone. So she will be a drone pilot, and then one woman will be selected as a drone technician. They will be given training for these particular things, for the flying a drone or using a drone, and then to solve any kind of technical error in a drone. So that is one thing. Now here you can say this drone has to be provided in the time period of 2023 to 2025-26. Okay, by this particular year you have to provide this 15,000 drones. Okay, and what they will do is this particular self-help groups will get this drone and they will provide, you can say, rental services to farmers. Okay, so when there will be a drone, that drone will be used for spreading pesticides or fertilizer, etc. Okay, so this particular SSG will provide this drone on the rental services. Okay, so ultimately you can see how it will help in the empowerment of the woman, and it will generate a source of revenue for SSGs as well. Okay, so that is one thing. Central financial assistance will be provided in purchasing drone. Basically 80% of the cost of the drone and the other ancillary services will be provided by the government, and maximum that assistance can be up to 8 lakh rupees. Okay, and then once that drone is purchased, appropriate clusters will be identified. So basically they will identify the region where they have to go for this particular scheme, where the use of drone is economically feasible. Okay, they will identify the area where the use of this drone will be economically viable, because when we are talking about spreading this fertilizer and pesticides via drone, we need to have a large area of farm. Let's say for the small farms it will not be economically viable. Okay, a member of each SSG well qualified and above 18 years of age will be selected, and they will be given a 15 days of training. Okay, and 5-day drone pilot training and 10 days of the nutrients and the pesticide application training. So they need to know how to apply this particular pesticides and nutrients over there. Okay, another member will be given a training in the repairing of electrical goods and the mechanical work. So that will be drone technical and technician and assistant. So basically this is the scheme for self-help groups, for women empowerment, as well as to help this particular farmers in their endeavor in the agriculture. Okay, so that is about this particular scheme. In the world affairs, we can see Russia working on laws requiring foreigners to sign loyalty pact. Okay, so considering this war which has been going on in the Ukraine, February 2022, when the Russia attacked Ukraine, and after that there was some kind of criticism with respect to the activities has been taken by the Russia. So in their domestic sphere, they are saying that there should not be any kind of discredit to the army or Russian government and the authorities. That is why any foreigner, this particular scheme they are bringing for the foreigners, though the specifics are not given that to whom this scheme will be applied. Will it apply to all the foreigners or selective people, or what can be the punitive criteria or the punishment if they do not go by the norms of the scheme or say pact. Okay, so what is expected out of this pact is that foreigners may be forbidden from the criticism of state policy. You cannot criticize state's policy. Second, Russia could forbid criticizing Soviet history. Okay, so you cannot forbid, cannot criticize the Soviet history. Okay, you cannot discredit the army of Russia, and then contravening family values would also be forbidden. Okay, so these are few things, though sounds irrational, but again they are authoritative states. So you can go for, you can say that is about Russia. They are kind of come up with the idea of loyalty pact. Okay. For your economic section, there was this particular thing: government clears 16 finance commission terms, disaster management funds review on cards. Okay. So you know that every 5 years we go for a financial commission. That finance commission will ultimately kind of recommend the percentage of share, or you can say devolution of the funds between state and the government. Okay, on the basis of that recommendation, government will go for the fund devolution. Okay, the Union Cabinet approved the terms of reference for the 16th Finance Commission. Okay, the commission will devise the formula for revenue sharing between the center and the state for the period starting April 2026 to the next 5 years. Okay, so that is particularly about the 16th Finance Commission, which is to be come up, and they are supposed to give their report in 2025. Okay, and then that will start from the April 2026. So now about Finance Commission, when we are talking about the India, the Finance Commission of India was first established in 1951 under Article 280 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, this particular institution or the Finance Commission is established by President. Okay, the purpose is to define and regulate the financial relation between state government and the central government. Okay, composition. For every 5 years, the Financial Commission comprises a chairman and 4 other members. So there will be 5 members in this particular institution. There will be 1 chairman and 4 other members, and all these will be appointed by president. Okay, Article 280 is the authority from the Constitution of India. Okay, so at every 5 years we will have a Finance Commission, but this term is not absolute. In case of 15th Finance Commission, you know that the tenure has been extended for a while. So that is the thing. Now key function of the Financial Commission will be, it recommends the tax devolution between state government and the central government. Okay, determines the principle governing grants in aid to the states. Okay, the grant in aid from the consolidated fund of India to the state, that Finance Commission determines on the basis of what criteria we have to give this particular grants. Okay, advice on the measure to enhance the state's consolidation funds to support local bodies and the Panchayat Raj based on the state's Finance Commission's advice. So basically, on the recommendation of the State Finance Commission, they will advise the states to go for any kind of augmentation related to state's consolidation fund. Okay, address any other financial matter which is referred by the president. President can refer any financial matter to Finance Commission, and they have to advise on that as well. Okay, so that are the key function of Finance Commission. So when we are talking about the 16th Finance Commission, the 5 years starting this particular time, that is financial year of 2027, that starting from, that is, you can say your April 2026. Okay, for the financial year 2027. Okay, there are some concerns which this particular Finance Commission has to go through, that is high public debt, the pressure on the sovereign funds to meet the sustainable development goals and the critical infrastructure building or the creation of the critical infrastructure. That will be the challenge for the finance commission to look into. Okay. Other than that, commission may also review the present arrangement on the financing of the disaster management initiatives. So there under this disaster management act, there is this fund there that is constituted. So but this commission can look into this particular aspect of the disaster financing as well. Okay. These are not yet clear because terms of reference are not made public yet. So we will look have a look when they are made public. Okay. And when we are talking about the predecessor of this particular finance commission, that is 15th finance commission, they have prescribed tapering of the revenue deficit grants. Okay. Other than that, they have gone for the certain weight to population control performances. So basically, there were this states which are saying that earlier these grants are used to be given on the basis of population or the weightage of the population. So a state like Kerala, etc., they are saying that they are being penalized for their population control measures. Okay, since their population is reducing, their grants are reducing as well. So considering that, in the 15th Finance Commission, they have considered the population, the performance on the population front as a factor also, and provided on that also that certain weightage to the population control performance is also given. Okay, so you can say that performance based incentives are given in this particular Finance Commission's recommendation, that 15th Financial Commission recommendation, that is performance based incentives are given. When we are talking about how, that is expansion and deepening of the tax net under GST based on the performance in GST, their funds will be impacted. Provision of grants in aid to local bodies for basic services, quality human resources related things, implementation of performance grant system, improving delivery services and control or lack of it, and incurring expenditure on the population measures. So see, these are some criteria. Let's say you can say with respect to GST related performance, then service delivery related performance, and then you can say implementation of grants. All these things will be reviewed, or let's say population, all these things will be reviewed, and based on that there are some kind of incentive which has to be provided in this particular Finance Commission's recommendations. Okay. So we will see what 16th Finance Commission will look into and how they will provide their recommendation after a period of time. Okay. So that is about this particular article. Okay. So let's see the practice question which was given to you in the last class. That was, among the following, who are typically used as intermediaries to move illicitly acquired funds. Okay. Options are money carriers, money custodians, money mules, and money smugglers. So basically they are asking who are acting as an intermediary to transfer the illicitly acquired funds. Let's say yesterday I told you that there is this one person, okay, he is conducting some kind of money fraud. Okay. So he is asking someone to send some money. Okay. So let's say he is asking X, he is creating a fraud on X, and then he is saying that you have to transfer some money, or let's say somehow he get him to transfer some money to an account of a person named Y. Okay. So this Y person does not have any idea about this particular fraud. Only thing is, this A has hired Y to transfer this particular fund, let's say 50 crore or let's say 50,000 only. Okay. Transfer this particular fund to another account. Okay. So this particular person is only doing a transfer of this particular money from their account to this unknown account. Okay. For them, they are given some kind of percentage, let's say 2% or any percentage. Okay. So for this particular 2% commission, they are going for this particular transfer. They do not know that there are some kind of fraud attached to that particular transfer. Okay. So such people are known as money mules, because they just act as a courier of that particular transaction from one account to another account. Okay. So these persons are known as money mules. Okay. So let's have a look at the today's question. Here you can see, which constitutional provision and the schedule provide specific safeguard and provision for the particularly vulnerable tribal groups PVTGs in India? Article 256 and 9th schedule, Article 270 and the 10th schedule, Article 244 clause 1 and 5th schedule, and Article 368 and 7th schedule. Okay. So you have to attempt this question and answer in the comment box. I have mentioned this particular thing in the our discussion, but I might have told you the wrong article. So you have to select the correct article and comment answer in the comment box. Okay, moving further, let's look at the mains question. What are the challenges in achieving lasting peace in Manipur? Discuss how peace agreements within the insurgents groups could impact the state's development. So you have to go through this Manipur related article we have seen. Other than that, you have to go through this particular thing there. What are the challenges, okay, in achieving the lasting peace in particular area? Okay, then you have to discuss how this peace agreement which has been coming up with the insurgents could impact the state's development. Obviously, once there is peace, there will be impact on the development, and most certainly that would be a positive impact. Okay, so you have to discuss that the recent peace agreement, or you can say the peace agreement earlier signed by communities like in Nagas in 1997, Cookies in 2018, 2008, and then this UNLF now. Okay, so how this particular peace agreements will impact the state's developmental activities. Okay, so that is how you have to write this answer, that you can write for a 10 marker. Okay, so that would be all for this today's session. I'll see you in the next session. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.